السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وأطهر المرسلين، شفيع المذنبين وحبيب رب العالمين، محمد صلوات ربي وسلامه عليه وعلى آله وصحبه الطيبين الطاهرين. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه، ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له، ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأن محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم عبده ورسوله. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. In the name of Allah, the Compassionate, the Most Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, and may His peace and blessings be upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Indeed, the best of speech is the Book of Allah, and the best of guidance is the guidance of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst those who listen to the best of speech, the Book of Allah, and follow its commandments. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst those who come to know the best of ways, the way of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and make us amongst his followers. يا أحباب رسول الله صلوات ربي وسلامه عليه، من دعاء المؤمنين في كتاب ربنا قول الله جل وعلا: والذين يقولون ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. Towards the end of Surah Al-Furqan, Allah quotes the believers after giving certain qualities and characteristics about them, The believers are those who pray. And in their prayers, they make the following statement. O Allah, grant us. رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا. O our Lord, grant us. رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا, of our spouses and our offsprings. قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ, a comfort of our eyes. Make our spouses and our children not just accidents, things to be entertained with, things that we play with, but rather, O Allah, make them the comfort for our eyes, O Allah. And make us amongst those who lead the righteous. وَجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. Inshallah, today being almost the last Friday before many of our youngsters we will not see in the Friday prayers anymore. As you know, school inshallah will be opening towards the end of this month, many school districts, and then some schools will be opening in the beginning week of September, which to many parents is a cause of celebration. As somebody put it nicely, said, you know what, around Christmas time you hear the song, this is the best time of the year, it's a wonderful time of the year. Says in our family we don't play this music in December, we play it in August, they say. Because that's when the children are going back to school. Whatever the case is, this is really what we want to talk about. Talk about what happens, the challenges that face both the parents and the children as they go back to school. And let me begin by saying that, wallahi, this is really to appreciate the challenges of both the parents and the school, and also expressing our appreciation for their teachers as well. Man, as parents just don't take a break. Wallahi, one of the most difficult jobs in the world is just being a parent. Constantly worried about their children. You're worried about their health. You're worried about their well-being. You're worried about their friends. You're worried about their safety. You're worried about their choices. You're worried about their friends. You're just constantly worried about everything as a parent. So wallahi, when we make a khutbah like this, the idea is, it's coming from a place of understanding, saying that, man, your challenges are so big, and this is but a tiny attempt to say, well, here are some ideas for you. And when we speak about this, the point is not to bash our youngsters and telling them about how bad and disobedient. No. We say that, man, where you are about to go, your school, elementary, middle, high school, or even college, we say these are places that can also present a challenge for you. And this is a tiny attempt to say, well, here is what you can do about it. And then also as far as our teachers are concerned, man, our children spend more time with our teachers than they do with us. So we also want to express an appreciation there. Generally speaking, brothers and sisters, whenever we speak about challenges school, we're talking about two main challenges. Number one, the challenge to keep the students at school, and the challenge number two is to keep them focused in their school. Why is that the first challenge? Keeping our children in their schools. Did you know that every single day, brothers and sisters, 7,000 high schoolers, they drop out of high school. 7,000 high schoolers, they walk out of high school, culminating to 1.2 million students every single year that start high school don't really graduate or finish high school. Only 70% of students who start freshmen actually finish school. So the first challenge is to keep them there. And the question is, well, if they're not there, where are they? Fortunately, sometimes it's the poor choices that were made that will actually get them out of school. So the number one challenge is keeping them at school. And just all you have to do is just speak to some of the parents and see the disappointment in their faces. My kids decided that they don't want to finish high school. There is nothing that I can do. I cannot force my kids to finish high school. Because high school diploma nowadays, it carries a lot of weight. Nowadays, man, a bachelor's won't really get you a good job, let alone not even having a high school diploma. So just look into the disappointment of some of the parents whose kids decided that I no longer want to finish high school. So the first challenge is keeping them in. The second challenge is we can keep them in, but we really need to keep them focused. And there are usually four main challenges once the kids are kept at school. Academic, social, emotional, and for us in the Muslim community and many other religious communities, is the faith or the religious challenge. Academics, I don't want you to just go to school. When you go to school, son, my daughter, I really want you to be achieving, my child. I want you to get good grades. I want you to turn in your homework on time. I want to make sure that you are truly learning. It's not just about you being physically present there. So we want to make sure that our children are academically achieving. And brothers and sisters, this also requires, they say that subhanAllah, sometimes we as parents get frustrated easily. And that's the case whenever we're dealing with our children. You know, there's a sense of frustration. They're not listening, they're not this and they're not that. And we've said this before. When the school starts, we will just all frustrated with the amount of school of driving that we're doing, the amount of homework that we're helping with, and we're all just praying for the summertime. 2 days into the summer, we're praying for the school time because we just can't take it anymore. So we're constantly battling ourselves, and that is our involvement and the response to us. So they say many times, please do not stop your involvement. Rather, change it. Change your involvement. You know, subhanAllah, as our children grow, one of the most beautiful, fascinating fields to study in humans is human development. How we humans develop. And how each and every stage of development necessitates that we as parents react differently. I'll just give you this stage that subhanAllah is just one of the most difficult and fascinating ones. And that is when people are turning into teens. Teens, they go through this developmental stage that is known to be the stage of invincibility. Invincibility is the feeling that teenagers get, and that is, I am indestructible. They can be very arrogant, full of themselves. I know better than my parents. I really don't need my parents. I can do this on my own. And they are just literally, truly just full of themselves. And I know that some of the people sitting here will say, man, that's just a description of my son, that's a description of my daughter. It's not your son or your daughter. That is just part of the stage of development that we all go through. Stage of invincibility. And sometimes we make the point that, I'm going to just make it a point, I'm going to put them down. You do this, brother and sister, you lose your child. So what we want to do is that we want to understand at what developmental stage is my child so that I can accordingly behave or react to my children. And sometimes our involvement never stops. But we change the way that we are involved with our children so that it best fits their needs, college, academics, but also it meets their developmental needs as well. When people go to school, man, there is a social challenge that takes place. Schools, when we went to school, it was not just about you taking your books and sitting in the classroom and listening to what the teacher have to say. Man, nowadays everybody looks around. And especially when we speak about the social challenge, we're talking about peer pressure. Our children don't just go to school. Our children are going to be introduced to so many people at school. And please keep in mind, the ages of 9 through 13 are the most difficult ages. That is when peer pressure is at its best and as its strongest. Because at this age, they say, children want to fit in so bad. Nobody wants to be the weird kid at school. Nobody wants to be the kid that, other kids make fun of. So when your kid comes and tells you that, everybody at school does this, don't dismiss that. Don't just say, well, they all jump off of a cliff. Are you going to jump along with them? Yes, I will. And at that point, as a parent, you would be in trouble. What do you have to say to this? So the idea is, understand that this idea of peer pressure, my brothers and sisters, wallahi, is real. It is real, man. So what we want to do is that we want to support our kids. To the youngsters, I tell them, when you go to school, many people are not going to like you. And people are going to judge you. They may judge you on the basis of what you wear, what you look like, the way that you talk. They're going to judge you on just everything. But remember, my brother and my sister, when you come back home, by the end of the day, you are going to look yourself in the mirror. You must like who you are. Can't really be changing who you are in order to fit in, somebody out there that did not really approve of you. But say that, man, when you come back, when you look yourself into the mirror, you really want to say that I like who I am. I'm being myself. So the idea of peer pressure is real. And for that, what do? They say that, and these are teachers. You know, around this year, the teachers and the schools, they will be, distributing pamphlets and flyers. And one of the things that they tell you is this. Number one, they say that you've got to please attend orientation sessions that your school is having. If your school, your child's school, is having an orientation session, please make sure that you attend this. What does that do? Well, number one, you're going to see who your son or your daughter is going to spend most of their time with. You get to meet the teachers. You get to know about the school. You get to learn about the expectations. And there they tell you, please keep track of your child's friends. Because friends around this age are more influential than the parents. I've shared with you once before, there was a poll done on middle school and high school students. If you have an issue, whom do you go to? And they gave them a list of 10 choices. Parents were not number 1, or 2, or 3, or 4, or 5, or 6. Parents were number 7. They were preceded by the friends, by the teachers, by the media, by the internet, by music, by all sorts of things. And then at number 7 came the parent. This is not to make you feel bad, but what we're saying is that peer pressure is real. Understand this. One of the things that we can do is keep track of who our children's friends are. And when you do so, please do not rush to judgment. And please, wallahi, don't get me wrong. You know, sometimes we look into a kid and say, I never want you to go with that loser anymore. Look at the way that they're dressed. Look at them, all the earrings that they're wearing and the number of tattoos that they have on them, and look at their pants and how saggy they are. Dad, this is the smartest kid at school. He's actually an A-straight student. Because we have a tendency to pass on judgment. And your child will look at you and say, Dad, Mom, you don't even know them. Why did you decide that they were losers? Now, it's one thing that you do not approve of how that child carries themselves, but be very careful about what you label and how you label. Your child knows them better than you do. And when you make a statement like this to your child, we don't look good. You don't even know them, and you're passing all these kinds of judgment on them. The point is, be careful as you are making these types of observations. And we want our kids to please make good choices as far as the friends that you choose. Because friends, many cases, man, they really, really do have a big say in our destiny. Emotional challenges. Say that this is one area that parents neglect. You know, when you have to succeed academically, when you have to fit socially, that does something to you emotionally. And they're finding out that students are having anxiety about academic success. Students who have had like 4.0 GPAs are not getting scholarships and they're not admitted to good universities. And you've got these students are saying that, man, it just doesn't matter how much I work. Look at all these people who have gotten nowhere. That gives them a sense of anxiety. There is the stress. Yesterday or the day before, CNN was talking about the amount of homework that is given to children. Talking about, you know what, children have been given so much homework nowadays, it is not even funny. And sometimes as parents we say, good, keep them busy. But at what expense are they being kept busy? So understand that sometimes anxiety and stress and depression is very real amongst these students. So what do? Make sure that you listen. Make sure that you talk. Make sure that you have got healthy family habits. Man, we have dinner every night. And you know what, around the dinner table, we're always discussing school-related things. We're talking about their friends. We're talking about their days. Make sure that you have a safe place and real time that is allocated for your family when the school starts. One of the most and the big challenges that we're going to face is the religious challenge. That is, why just don't want a kid who is academically and emotionally and socially healthy, but man, I want a kid who's also spiritually healthy. A kid that makes good, wise decisions on the basis of their Muslim identity. They're finding out that religious children or children who come from religious backgrounds, when they go into school, they usually make one of 3 choices. Take a drive, withdraw to survive, become stronger and thrive. Take a drive. They just leave the whole deen. I'm no longer Christian, I'm no longer Muslim, I really don't like my Judaism, I don't even know if Islam is my choice or my parents' choice, I am just done. They take a drive. Literally they take a drive. Because now that they are at school, they are faced with the freedom, with the challenge of freedom, the challenge of diversity, the challenge to choose, and they go there and say, I cannot survive with what I have been taught, the way that especially nowadays Islam is, presented to the people. So some of the students, what do? They choose to take a drive. I am no longer interested in this. This is just not for me. And man, again, should be seeing the disappointment and the looks on some of these parents. My son called me the other day, my daughter called me the other day, and they said, Dad, I've been thinking about this. I am no longer sure if I am a Muslim or not. I've been doing this and I've been doing that. That's a challenge, man. That's a huge challenge. When children decide that they want to take a drive, they're no longer into it, man, we've got to be careful, brothers and sisters. And remember, the way that we do this is the way that we present our deen to our children. Please remember, when we do so, we're not only giving them accurate information, but we're also presenting the information in a way that makes both logical and cultural sense. You've got to do this, my brothers and sisters. The deen is beautiful. It makes absolute beautiful logic, but sometimes we don't. And in addition to that, we have to make a cultural sense out of our deen as well. So some of the students, they decide that I want to take a drive. And inshallah that is not the choice that our children make, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Second choice, they say that children may choose not to take a drive, but they're going to withdraw and survive. I am going to take my deen, I am going to compartmentalize my deen, I'm going to put it in the box. Nobody needs to know that I am a Muslim, nobody needs to know anything. Islam is just between me, myself and I, and that's it. But when I go out there, I'm just going to pretend, I'm just going to be. Well, again, that just goes back into who you really are. The idea of taking a pride in what it is that we believe in, the way that we carry ourselves around. This idea may be a survival thing, but if you're not really forced into it, then it's a poor choice. Somebody who's not comfortable with whom they are. And what we want, we want our children to be comfortable with who they are. And this is something that we model. This is something that we teach them. We take pride in our deen, and taking pride in my deen does not make me boastful or arrogant. To the contrary, it makes me a person who's very loving, a person who's approachable, a person who's reachable, where I love to serve the people. My neighbors know and they like me, and that's how we are. You take that spirit and you carry it on when you go away. And then the last choice is becoming stronger and thrive. Man, you love it. Subhanallah. When our kids whom we have known here in our youth group, then they go and they just join the MSA and they're loving it. What's going on? Man, at the MSA we have got some great activities. I meet with other Muslim kids. And when you go there between classes, the Muslim students are always praying Jama'ah. By 1 o'clock you go to UCI, there is a place that's they've designated for themselves. That's when people do their Jama'ah. You go there at Asr time and the kids are doing their Jama'ah. So 4 times a day, these kids, they become the support and the pillar for one another, and they're doing their Jama'ah. What happens? They made the right choice in meeting the right people. So what happens as a result? They're becoming stronger and they are thriving as a result. By no means, this was to say, this is going to be, the pill that's going to fix everything. But my brothers and sisters, I've been reading what principles have written. And nowadays we're told that the most difficult CEO job in the United States today is the school principal. It's the school principal. Because these are the people who are responsible for the academic and emotional and social well-being of our children. And there are many good teachers out there, and wallahi, to these teachers, man, we truly do appreciate. But as parents also, there is that part of what we just quoted in the Quran, قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ. We want our children to be the comfort of our eyes. And what happens as a result is that we want to make sure that we take the right steps in guaranteeing something like this. And please remember, it all begins at home. And it all begins by the positive modeling. And that's why they say, children, attention pay to what you do, not what you say. Children, attention pay to what you do, not what you say. So the modeling of it. I want you to be a proud Muslim. That's all good. Do we model that? I want you to be 1, 2, and 3. Do we model that? And then finally, a beautiful suggestion was also given, and that is, before the school year begins, have a talk with your children. Prepare them. Get them to say, well, what are they going to be? And part of it, subhanAllah, the suggestion was so beautifully given, say that, the virtues of seeking knowledge in Islam. Just sit with your kids and just say, you know what, I am so excited about you going back to school. And, in Islam, part of it is that we as Muslims, we're always pondering about the revelation of Allah, and we're also considering the creation of Allah. Because in Islam, there is no dichotomy between the religious knowledge and the secular knowledge. It's all the creation and the revelation of Allah. Make sure that we do this with our kids, so that actually they say that education becomes purposeful. And then speak about the potential challenges. How did it go for you last year, and what do you expect to be your challenges this year? And so that inshallah accordingly all are prepared. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our children. May they be successful academically, socially, emotionally, and religiously as well, Ya Rabbil Alameen. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على رسوله المصطفى وعلى من بآثاره اقتفى. They asked a principal in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. He said, what is one thing that parents don't know about their children? By the way, this question is really scary. What do you mean parents don't know about their children? Because we think as parents that we know everything, or we should know everything about their children. And here's what the principal said. The principal said, parents really do not know much about what their children do in social media and how influential social media has become. Said that if there is anything that I want to tell children or to tell parents about their children, said that the social media, the impact of social media upon their children. And they said, well, is that good or bad? Said, you can't really call social media good or bad. It is up to the user. The user either makes it good or they make it bad. It can be used to promote hate speech, bullying, cyberspace, sexting and all. So I said that it really depends on how people use it. Man, we think that sometimes, we're savvy simply because, I've got a Facebook account. Are you kidding me? Facebook is so old, man. If you think that you are up to date because you've got a Facebook, man, you are behind, man. Wallahi, I'm telling you, this is what they're telling you. You think that you have a Facebook, and you know what? My kids are all my buddies, and they're my BFF, and that doesn't really mean anything anymore. So what's going on? Nowadays, they came up with apps to hide apps. What does that mean? So your child can say, my phone is always out there, it's at the disposal of my parents can always go and they can check my phone. They can look into my pictures, my Instagram, everything. But see, nowadays they came up with apps to hide apps. So you can go and click on every and each one of them and you won't even know what is going on. By the way, it's not because our kids are bad. It's not because our kids are bad, a'udhu billah. But I'm saying that the social media nowadays is lending new tools that can potentially, unfortunately, sometimes be misused. One thing that is crucial that we do with our Friday khutbah sermons is that we want to keep it as relevant as possible. Sometimes to the surprise of people. You know that everybody is expecting that, well, it's the second anniversary of what happened in Egypt, in Rab'a. and I expect to come to the masjid and this is what's going to be spoken about. Now we're cognizant of that. I know what happened in Egypt. I know what happened 2 years ago and we know what is happening today. The question is not whether this is this something that we can do something about. So we can come and talk about this, it won't change anything of what is happening out there. We like to keep it relevant. Not that we're heedless, not that we don't understand what is going on, but what is the use of us talking about something that is going to further divide our community? Not that you shouldn't be saying the truth because you're afraid that people are going to be divided. Not the point. But the point is, what are the practical consequences of what you say? So we believe that at a time like this, talking about the importance of our school and what happens to our kids when they go back is really relevant and it is of great practical consequences. Not only in the Friday sermons, but also in the kind of programs that we have. So tonight we've got a very, very important program. It's going to be about social media. And this program is presented by Brother Hatun, and it's going to be about teaching the parents about social media, because sometimes we really don't know. We have no idea, and I'll be the first to admit, I have no idea what happens there. You remember how we made fun of you if you have Facebook accounts? I don't even have a Facebook account. That's how behind we are. And this is not something to be boastful about. This is really sad. This is really sad. Look, man, if you've got kids, you better know something like this. The average age when children are presented with multimedia nowadays is, they say that is at 8. You know, Facebook, they say that you have to be at least 13 before you can have a Facebook account. Over 5 million children below the age of 10, they actually have Facebook accounts. So now the idea is that it is all out there, man. It is out there. So inshallah, please tonight at 7 p.m., not at Maghrib time, at 7 p.m. This is a 2-hour presentation from 7 till 9:15 with Maghrib in between. So please, inshallah, tonight be here at 7 p.m. It's going to be on a parent's guide to social media and internet safety. Please, brothers and sisters, Brother Hutan Afzali, inshallah, is going to be here. Refreshments as well as babysitting is going to be provided. Also know, inshallah, that our middle school class and youth group tonight, inshallah, will be meeting tonight as well. And also OCIF Women Breakfast at Panera Bread in Lake Forest on Tuesday, August 18th at 10 a.m. Our sisters meet there once a month. And if you want, inshallah, any more information, please do look into the TV outside or the flyers, inshallah, for more details. As we have said, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our children. May, inshallah, their academic success be something that we all be proud of, as well as their social and emotional and religious success, Ya Rabbal Alameen. If they are going off to college, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect your children. If your children are going to be starting school for the first time this time of the year, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them success. If they're going to go to middle school or high school, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them the wisdom to choose the best of friends and to make the wisest of choices, Ya Rabbal Alameen. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. اللهم يا مولانا إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم فرج هم المهمومين ونفس كرب المكروبين واقض الدين عن المدينين. اللهم ارحم موتانا واشف مرضانا وفك أسرانا وعاف مبتلانا. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروا الله يذكركم واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم ولذكر الله أكبر. الله يعلم ما تصنعون.